Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Come on in, everyone. It is such a good day here in Dallas, so you guys just come on in. It is, well, Carol and Deborah and Carol's coffee chat, but I'm minus Deborah tonight, but you guys come on in. She's not feeling well, so we're going to just chat a little bit. She has a great information she wanted me to share, and so you all just come on in and let's have a conversation ourselves. So we are here. I'm here and excited about what our topic is tonight. So we're going to give you a few more minutes. So come on in. I'm going to see if I can get us on Facebook myself and start chatting and see who's on. So come on in. Come on in. Give you a few minutes. Here's my Facebook page. And we are here and waiting on you to come in. So come on in, everybody. Give you a few more minutes to come on in. This is Deborah and Carol's coffee chat that we normally do every Thursday. And we are here. So come on in. I'm going to give you a few minutes and see if I can see who's out there while I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't see us yet. All right. I can see us now. So you all come on in. I'm sorry, I was piddling a little bit with that, but welcome to Coffee Chat with Carol and Deborah and Carol. And as I was saying, Deborah is not here tonight because she is feeling a little bit under the weather. And so I'm looking forward to having this chat with you tonight. This is Build Your Best Life with Deborah Smith, but this is our monthly coffee chat. So you guys come on in. I think we have some great things to chat about. Well, I have some great things that we want to chat about from her book as usual. So we're just going to continue to just talk about the things that Deborah has in her book. And so we're going to give you a few more minutes. I see welcome Dylan Butler and Henry Holmes. Come on in, and we are happy that you're here today. And we're going to get started in just a few minutes. So let's see who else is going to join us. And would you just take a moment and share this on your Facebook or whatever platform you're using? Just hit the like, just hit the share, and see if we can't get others in, because I think I have something that I'm going to share from Deborah's book. That's a great conversation. So we're going to get started in just a few minutes. But I want to welcome you to Build Your Best Life with Coach Deborah D. Smith. And I am Carol Crockett, and I am just going to be the host for tonight. So you hit like, you hit share, and see if we can get some others to come in. Well, tonight, as I said, Deborah is not available tonight, and she's not feeling well. So please keep her in your prayers. And here on at Build Your Best Life, we believe it is better to train early rather than to try to fix it later. And we know that is what Deborah truly believes, that it's better to train early than to fix it later. So please come on in, like and share. And our theme for 2022 is all about action, all about getting things done. It's all about actions. So remember this, your words, your steps, your gestures, your posture, your facial expression, your voice tone, what you write, and the movement of your eyes all speak volume and are your actions. What your action says to others is crucial. Let me say that again. What your action says to others is very, very crucial. So tonight, our coffee chat, and I'm just going to chat with you, is really all about, we're all about actions, but all about decisions that we're going to make. So yes, we're going to talk about decisions, right? Decisions, just decisions. Everywhere we look and every day we have to make a decision. Every day there's nothing but decision that has to be made. For example, what time to get up, what to wear, what to eat for breakfast, what to respond to others, and how you should respond, whether to buy a tablet, a laptop, or a PC, whether to go to that party, to that concert, or dinner, whether to get a coach or a mentor, all about decisions. What church to attend. And even now, some of you all are getting ready to make that big decision of what college you need to choose. So lots of decisions. And it all seems like it's just real simple sometimes, but your decisions can make you or break you. Let me say that again. Our decisions can make you or break you. Make you a millionaire, or your decision can make you homeless. It can make you popular or cause you to lose your credibility. And we talk a lot about credibility on this platform. Your decisions can make an A, a C, or F in a class. All about decision. Your decision to have fun or hate where you are, that's a decision you have to make. A decision to be safe or end up in a risky situation. Or you can make a decision to be successful or a loser. It's all about decisions tonight. So, and one last one, you can make a decision to be happy or depressed. So, no matter what your past is, and Miss Deborah says this, no matter what your past is, there's still time to accomplish your wildest dream. No matter what your past looked like, from yesterday to today, you still can take time to accomplish your wildest dream. So you want to always keep that in mind, your dream, and it's a decision. Do you push forward or do you stay where you are? Do you pursue your dreams or do you stay where you are? Decisions that no one can make but you. See, all things are possible. We say that all things are possible if a person believes. Number one, you believe. But when you believe, you got to work hard, develop themselves, make every attempt to build substantial, productive decisions. And I love too, Miss Deborah loves this all the time because she talks about affirmations are needed daily. You have to daily get up and make those affirmations. You have to get up and put that vision before you and what you want to accomplish. But you have to do that. So affirmations are needed daily. Believe who you are. Believe that you can accomplish those dreams. I always say, I am the spoken word of God. That's who I am, and that's who you are. They provided positive reinforcement. These affirmations, they provide positive reinforcement. Sometimes it's good to read them out loud so you can hear yourself say the things that you want to accomplish or who you are. So positive reinforcements, that's what affirmations are. Their goals and dreams are possible. And the choice is up to you. It is your choice. So really, we're going to talk about a few people who had to make some decisions, and we can see the result of those decisions because some of us are living out some of those decisions that they made, or we walked through and saw the decision they made, and we've been a part to experience that. So let's talk first about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Some say he died before his time. Some do say that. But I would say, and Miss Deborah said she would say, and I would too, our days are numbered by the Lord. And actually, the Lord says that our days are numbered. And what I feel is more relevant is King's dash. You know, it's his birth and his death, but it's that dash that's in between that is so important. The choices and decisions he made during his lifetime. Listen at some of the decisions and the accomplishments that Dr. Martin Luther King made. Completed high school and enrolled in college by age 15. He earned a BS degree in sociology. He attended seminary. He received a fellowship of graduate studies. He was the student body president. And guess what else, y'all? In 1951, he was the valedictorian. 1953, he married. 1954, he was ordained as a minister. And then in 1955, he accomplished and completed his PhD. He made all of these accomplishments were made by age 25. By age 25, he had done all of these things. He made a decision. It looks like he was on a roll. He knew what he wanted to do. He continued to pursue it. And then it looks like even he pursued things with the excellence in mind. And he could have decided to just be a husband, just be a father or a preacher. But his purpose was to speak to all people everywhere about equality. He could have just said, okay, I got a PhD. I got everything I need. I got my wife, my family, and I'm not going to think about anybody else. But that was not his purpose. His purpose was to help people everywhere have equality. He gave one of the most prolific speeches in history on August the 28th, 1963. And all of us are very, very familiar with that. I was a teenager during that time. But he said, that speech was, I have a dream. And we've heard it recited and spoken many, many times, especially on the holiday that we celebrated in commemoration of him. In 1964, he won the Nobel Peace Prize. On April the 3rd, 1968, Dr. King gave his very last speech in 1968. I've been to the mountaintop. I love that. And when I read it, and I read it again this time in Miss Deborah's book, it really has such a profound effect when you really listen and read it. I say read it out loud. He packed a lot in his 39 years in that dash, but King made sound decisions. He set tangible goals. He put in the work. He didn't just set the goals and didn't do anything about them, but he set the goal to work to reach the goal, to develop himself. He had to do something to develop himself, a PhD, an ordained minister. He worked at those things, and he sacrificed too to make things better for others. So not only was he looking at making it enough for just he and his family, but he wanted to sacrifice to make it enough for other people as well. So it is your action. That's what our theme is this year, actions. It is your actions and decisions, not your fault, that makes a difference. It is your action and decision. And when I think about Dr. King's speech, I Have a Dream, I noticed in the excerpts, it said, this is what he said. It is in this Deborah's book. I just want to do God's will. And he's allowed me to go to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people who get as a people who get to the promised land. He said, we as a people will get there. And I love the fact, I thought this was prolific, but I thought this was also so prophetic. And it said, and like I said, it still moves me today when we look at the entire speech. But just as it did when I was a teenager, I get that same feeling. And so it was a prophetic word that we get a chance to live out the dream, the words that he spoke during that time, the words in that speech that he said, he just want to do God's will. And he said, it allowed me to go to the mountain. I love that. And looked over and he said, I've seen the promised land. So this was an opportunity. And I said, these were prophetic words for us because we are now the spoken word of Dr. King's when we look at the things that he accomplished only so that we could have some right and freedom. Good evening, Peggy. Good to see you. Good evening, Jocelyn. Good to see you on tonight. You guys chime in. We're going to have a conversation. Miss Deborah's unavailable to be here. But listen, Dr. King paid a price for all Americans to have equal rights. But what he wanted to do, his decision, the price that he paid actually cost him his life because he was actually looking out for someone else. So you see, decisions that one makes may not only impact their lives, but may impact the lives of others. And as I said, we see the impact of others that Dr. King made. But you know what? Miss Deborah has someone else in her book that we're going to look at tonight. And his life impact your life as well as others' lives. So when I say his name, we're going to all know how he's impacted our lives, right? But it's Steve Jobs. And we know what Steve has done for us. Steve was, but listen, Steve didn't start out with a favorable life in the beginning. So I didn't know this until I was reading this in Miss Deborah's book. But Steve was born to an unmarried, struggling college struggling students, both parents. They were young, struggling, unmarried, and here's a baby coming. You know, one of those things that maybe they didn't plan for. But both parents made a very hard decision to give Steve up for adoption. I said sometimes the hardest thing and the right thing are still the same thing. Had to make a decision, hard and the right thing, but they can still be a hard thing. Had his parents not given him up to Paul and Sierra Jobs, we would not be living today and not have some of the things that was his dream and his decision. His dream and decision to pursue what he, to be able to pursue the computers, Atari and all those things. But his dream was to get a computer in the hand of everyday people and succeed so they could succeed beyond their wildest dream. That's having a dream, but also that's an opportunity where you can see where he wanted to help others. And don't we all love those Apple products? And y'all could just tell me in the chat that you got some Apple products, and we are all benefiting from that. But that was his dream. And he wanted everyone to have a computer. We first started out with big clunkers, but now we have them on phones. So we can see the residual and the result of him having his dream, pursuing his dream. And I love, read it in Miss Deborah's book. I love the fact that everything didn't come easy for him. He got fired and all of those things. He probably had failures, but he did have some failures. But he did not give up on the dream. He did not give up on working hard. He did not give up because he had some disappointments and some rejections, but he kept pursuing that dream. Hello, Miss Denise. Hello, who's talking about? Deborah says she loves the Apple product. And I always say, well, when people talk to us about those Apple phones, I was like, I'm an Android girl, but there are some benefits that I see from the Steve Jobs making that decision to pursue his dream and to go ahead and start working on little bitty things that he got hired in. But it's a long story, and I would encourage you to read it in the book because Miss Deborah has it all laid out. But here's another one. We're just going through people who have had dreams and pursued their dreams and made decisions. Even in hard times, they had to make some decisions. Some decisions, like I said, the right decision, the hard decision, but they are all a decision that has to be made. And sometimes we are torn between those, but I always say, make a decision, make some kind of decision. I'm going to get me a little water. And somebody said Lenora says she loves her Apple phone. I understand, Lenora. But let's look at another story. Now, Miss Deborah lives in Jacksonville, in Jacksonville. That's the home of the Jaguars. And so she tells us a story about their owner and how his decision impacted his life. And this is what she said, or she wrote in her book. Now, this story, and it's one other one that was like a teardropping kind of one for me because I didn't know all this history about, but it is Shadid Kane, I believe. He came to let's just listen to this story, you all. He came to the United States as a poor immigrant from Pakistan. It was cold and raining, and he planned to attend the University of Illinois. However, the dorms were not open, and Kane was only 16 years old. There wasn't a place. Can you imagine being 16 years old, leaving the country and coming here by yourself? And there wasn't a place he could afford. Listen, his shoes were wet and cold, and they were worn and torn. He finally found a room, y'all, at the YMCA for $2. His first job was washing dishes for $1.25. I want y'all to listen to this story. $1.25 an hour. He didn't try, and I love this. He didn't try to fit in with people who had the same struggles. He was looking for something bigger, something better. So he wasn't trying to fit in with people that was just at the YMCA, just satisfied staying there for $2 and somebody at the place where he's washing dishes for $1.20 an hour. He wanted more. And he had to make a decision that he wanted more, no matter what it looked like, but he had to have a dream that he wanted more. So he didn't try to fit in. He just worked hard. But listen, and Miss Deborah talks about this all the time. He made a plan to do better. He pledged a fraternity and got in. He learned about the stock market. That's work. He learned about convertibles. He majored in engineering, and as he majored in engineering, he would come and get a job as an engineer at a company called Flex in Gate, a manufacturing company. He made his friend David pointed out that cars. He and his friend David in the manufacturing company that they got hired, they pointed out that the cars that the Flex and Gate had not manufactured were inferior to others. And he detected a problem. And he said, and he moved up in the company because he actually went and spoke out about the problem. He moved up in the company and became an engineer manager. And guess what? He hired his friend David. And together they designed a new bumper and showcased it to different dealerships. And he also started the Bumper Works with a small business administration loan. Listen, it gets better. Kane later purchased he purchased the Flex and Gate and has now 12,000 employees and 54 facilities. And guess what else? He visited Jacksonville because of the Toyota plant. And eventually, this is so nice, so cool. He eventually purchased the Jacksonville Jaguars, the professional team. He became a manager. He presented his thought or his idea, his dream, and it moved him up. And he later purchased the company that he worked for, and now he owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. See, Shadid Kane and listen, from $1.20 an hour, he is now worth $8.5 billion. Y'all like and share this. Please share this. This is great information. It all goes to show when you work hard and don't let obstacles bring you down, You don't say what you don't have and what you can't do. You work hard to accomplish a better life. He could have been satisfied with $1.20 job and a $2 place to live, but he had a dream. He wanted more. He could see his vision. He could see that he could get more, and he worked at it. So now he owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. He owns an English football league, and he owns Ali's Elite Wrestling School 1. And I love this story because he is a philanthropist and he pays it forward. He didn't forget where he came from. He is making now donations to his former college, making renovations and donations to the YMCA, and where he stayed for $2 a night, and where he first arrived in America. Now, if that is not a rag to riches story, I don't know what else. And I love the fact that he did not just get big and didn't look back, but he looks back to be able to give somebody else an opportunity and not just think about himself. Just like Dr. King, looking forward and having a dream, but also not forgetting the people that was just like him and being able to give back. And just what a story for someone who maybe decide that it's too hard or they can't do it, or these circumstances are just too much. See, people will label others based on their past, and they will say things like your childhood wasn't the best and you'll never amount to anything, or make fun of some children because they don't come from a traditional household of mom and dad, and tell them they will have a poor or an average life. This is so far from the truth. I'm a proponent of those kind of words to people. And sometimes we have to remember it is not the words that we say to ourselves, but we have to look at those words that people have spoken over us. But this young man, here's another young man that we're going to talk about. Not a real favorable situation, probably could have been given up on, and probably because of his different his parents were different ethnicity, and that is none other than our former President Barack Obama. He overcame his family split. His parents weren't together, Caucasian mother, and I think his father was from I can't remember, but anyway, I can't remember, but y'all put in the chat if you can help me remember where his dad was from. But they were different. They were different races and different ethnicity. Kenya, exactly. Thank you. I couldn't think of it right then, but he was from Kenya, and the mother was a Caucasian woman. And they a broken home, we would call that. Didn't have a mother and dad there, but that didn't stop him. It says that he lived with his grandparents. Former President Obama did not allow people and circumstances to get in his way. I'm sure there was plenty of talk in the neighborhood. He set his goals, he laid out his plan, and everything came together. Obama earned a degree in political science from Columbia University, and he did corporate research and New York research with a New York research group. He moved to Chicago and later attended the prestigious Harvard Law School. But in Miss Deborah's book, she talks about how he went to law school because he wanted to be able to help someone else, or help the poor. So we have to think about that. But he worked as a summer associate at Seidel and Austin Law Firm, where he met his future beautiful wife, Miss Michelle, and he became Illinois senator. And in 2008, he became the 44th president of the United States, the very first African-American president, who we're very proud of. He wasn't more intelligent than everyone else. Obama just had a plan and he followed it, and he didn't allow other people what words they say or what they thought about him. He didn't allow that to get in the way. He used that as fuel to continue the dream that he had for himself. He lived his life with integrity and trustworthiness. And Miss Deborah in her book talks about this all the time. Integrity and trustworthiness. I believe integrity will take you a very long way. We didn't have a drama We didn't have any drama while the Obamas were in the White House. And it is such an honor to see them today still live out that integrity and to even watch their girls, even though they're grown up in front of us in the White House. But I love that these girls are living their best life. And I love Miss Michelle because she said Black girls do rock. So I love that. And we can continue to see the things that they're doing. But it's incredible that a person can be one job, one phone call, or one person away. We're looking at these people who made decision, and as a result of their decision, we can see the incredible life that they've accomplished simply because of their decision. So here's another person Miss Deborah talks about, and we all know him very well. Emmett Perry Smith Jr. Emmett Perry Jr. And just listen at how his decision changed his life. See, I knew about this story myself, but still it's just so encouraging to know we can be faced with a decision at times to make a decision to walk away, or we have to make a decision that we're going to try harder. So let's look at Emmett Perry Jr. And so Miss Deborah said, that's her boy. And I do too love Tyler Perry's story. He went from being abused, broken, living in his car, but he did not give up on his dream. He knew that his purpose was to write plays and produce them, so he didn't give up. He knew that was his purpose. I think as Miles Monroe says, that if we don't know the purpose of something, we will inevitably abuse it. But he knew his purpose. And so I just wondered if he had gotten tired of living in his car and decided, I'm going to go get me a regular job and just give up the heck with all this writing plays and my purpose and what I think. But he continued and pursued his dream. And I guess going to get a job and do whatever he wanted, he thought about it, but I'm glad, and I'm sure we're all glad that he didn't, that he couldn't do that even when others didn't affirm him. He could have done that even when other people wasn't affirming him, wasn't even accepting his plays. But it was his purpose and his passion. All those go together, purpose and passion, and producing the plays as a short-term goal. So he kept persevering until he got what he wanted. He looked out the window one night and there was one person waiting to get in, or 10 people trying to get in this place to sleep. But there were people wrapped around the building. And that is because he was committed to doing this thing. It was his purpose. He knew it was his purpose. It wasn't going to let anything stop him. You know, the rest of the history, we all know that. We watch the plays and watch him and seeing all the things that he's done. And so we today want to just salute him, because everyone that stuck with him, that's what Tyler Perry did. Everyone that stuck with him, he reached back and began to help them. He went from no plays to plays with probably mediocre equipment, props, and they got fancier and fancier, and everybody stuck with him. They all got better too. One thing about it is that how he treats others. You know, he could have gotten up and given up and just forgot about everybody, but Tyler didn't do that. Everyone that stuck with him when he was down and out, he's helped them gain popularity. Let's talk about a few. The Mans, Tamla Mans, and on her TV show. And then, about Mr. Brown. We've all watched Mr. Brown. We love Mr. Brown. And then there were some other different cast members that I've seen on there that I know he's continued to keep with them. And then he's just a real kind-hearted person. And God looks out for those that are good Samaritans. And Tyler is a great good Samaritan. And I love this part, because we know at one time he tried to get his own studio, I think in Hollywood or whatever, but it didn't work. But today Tyler has his own studio, and he talks about it in an interview when he said when he's heading down to the studio, he looks out there and he sees the Tyler Perry studio. Now that, to me, once again, you're sleeping in your car, you're waiting to get in to sleep somewhere at night, and it's so filled up. people wrapped around to get in, and you continue to pursue your writing plays and pursuing your dream and working at it. Decisions are the hardest thing to make, especially when it's a choice between where you should be and where you want to be. But those are the decisions that we can make. So I hope that this has been something that you guys have heard tonight that has been great. But here's my closing comment about these decisions. We have to make all decisions with the long term in mind. Sometimes, like I said, the hardest thing and the right thing are the same thing. They're both just right there together. Make a decision to choose. And I want to just say, make a decision. The worst thing you can do is not make a decision. So when the decision comes, make a decision. But I want to encourage you, don't be afraid to make a decision, and don't be afraid of failure, because you are not the failure. Even if something fails, that does not determine who you are. I said failure is the womb for success. Failure is the womb for success. So don't give up on your dream. Keep pursuing it. Keep persevering, and keep on working hard. And don't let anyone take away the dream that God has given you. It may be hard. It may seem like you're getting ridiculed. It may look like it's never going to work. It may look like you've had thousands of failures and it just don't seem to work out. But keep pressing on. Keep pursuing that dream, and so that you can accomplish the thing that you want. And like I said, the worst thing we can do is to have a dream, to give up on our dream, and to have a decision to make and not make any decision at all. Stand stuck. You know, we talked about Mr. Kane, Shaid of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He said, you have to take lumps and face reality. There's always some good and there's always something bad happening. But we have to look for the good. And I think we talk about that here. Look for the good in your day. And in Miss Deborah's book on page 67, I just love to read this as we close. She used the Good News translation, Romans 12:2, from the Good News translation. Do not conform yourself to this world, but let God transform you. And know where he's going to transform you? Inwardly, by a complete change of mind. So he's going to transform us inwardly, and that's what he want to do. And as he transform us inwardly, then we're going to have some outward manifestations or some things that we can see. So he said, and completely by changing your mind, it's our mindset that has to change. Then you will be able to know the will of God, what is good and pleasing, but also that is perfect in his sight. So tonight we've talked about those decisions, and we know every day we're faced with many decisions. But remember, like I said, when you're faced with that decision, it's better to make a decision and to live with that decision than to not make a decision at all. So we want to make right decision, and we see the results of each one of these people that we pointed out today. Dr. King, Martin, Mr. Kane, I can't pronounce his first name, but we see that, and we see Tyler Perry, and we see others. I'm sure we could think of others in your life that we've seen, but we've seen each one of them. Tyler Perry, Dr. King, let's see who else, President Obama, all had to make some very serious decisions. But as a result of them making their decision, we are able to see their accomplishments on this side. So please join Deborah on Saturday at 9:30 and keep her in your prayers. We pray that she will be doing better. And her topic on Saturday is going to be, do you hear what I hear? Do you hear what I hear? And please remember, this is Miss Deborah's slogan, and this is what she believes. And I'm going to repeat it. She says, building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan. She said that's a commitment that she has to every young person. So we will see you on Saturday at 9:30 on Build Your Best Life. Have a great evening, everybody.